Two of the COTS 4 have finally been released. COTS 4 members Jerry Morin and Chris Lissack have accepted a plea deal in their conspiracy to commit murder case. The COTS 4 were arrested in February 2022 during the COTS border crossing protest in Alberta. They were charged with conspiracy to commit the murder of a police officer on the basis of circumstantial evidence and have now been in prison for just days shy of 2 years, without, up until now, a trial. A publication ban remains in place, denying the public some details on the trial. However, the verdict was reported on social media. The word from the attendees of the trial is that the conspiracy to commit murder on RCMP charges have been dropped, tweeted investigative journalist Moshe Berzagan on Tuesday. On the other hand, Berzagan said COTS 4 member Anthony Olenek has a new lawyer, which has delayed his trial until February 20th. Chris Lissack pleaded guilty to a restricted weapons charge, meaning that, like about 1 million other Canadians, he owns an unregistered restricted firearm. And Jerry Morin pled guilty to a conspiracy to traffic a firearm charge, which means he wanted to sell a gun. According to Ray McGuinness, a senior fellow with the Frontier Centre for Public Policy, denial of bail in Canada is rare. People charged with serious crimes routinely get bail, even people charged with the first-degree murder of a police officer, as happened in the 2021 case of Umar Zamir, a 31-year-old Toronto man who had been charged with the murder of veteran Toronto Police Constable Jeffrey Northrup. It doesn't take a genius to figure out the political maneuvering here. Trudeau needed justification for the Emergency Measures Act, which is only supposed to be invoked in cases of a national emergency. But the Freedom Convoy, by mid-February 2022, was only in Ottawa. While that might have been a threat to Justin, it was hardly a national emergency. The evidence against the COTS 4 was circumstantial at best, with a number of people who were at the protest believing the guns were planted by the RCMP, though that has not been proven. The RCMP only started their investigation of the 4 men on February 10th. Then, just after midnight on the 14th, just 4 days later, executed a search warrant that found 15 firearms, ammunition, and body armor with a Diagon patch in 3 trailers near the site of the protest. Diagon is a joke started by Canadian podcaster Jeremy McKenzie, who himself spent 10 weeks in prison for saying things Justin didn't like. By Diagon, too, was weaponized, with mainstream media and the government claiming they were a domestic terrorist organization committed to the violent overthrow of the government. Later on the same day as the search, Trudeau invoked the EMA, and under the authority of the EMA, police shut down the COTS protest the day after, on the 15th. So in the span of only 4 days, while Trudeau in Ottawa is seeking political and public support for violating our constitutional rights, 4 men in faraway Alberta are conveniently charged with conspiracy to commit the murder of a police officer, in association with the second largest trucker protest in the country. How convenient for Justin. Now he could claim the truckers were dangerous rebels forming armed militias across the country, ready to open fire on police at any moment. Said 4 men are then held in prison for almost 2 years, without bail, with a publication ban on their case, and denied the speedy trial they should have had under their rights. Chris Corbett and Anthony Olenek remain in prison, awaiting their own long overdue trials. Despite several attempts over the past 2 years, I've been unable to secure an interview with the COTS 4, even by phone from the prison. However, you can see my interview from February of last year with Jeremy McKenzie, the creator of Diagon. That interview, titled 14-Year Veteran Imprisoned for the Truth, can be found at ironwillreport.com.